So, Nintendo of Japan just put out a new overview trailer covering a bunch of new details about Jamboree TV, the Switch 2 expansion for Super Mario Party Jamboree. As a huge Mario Party fan who makes a lot of retrospectives on my main channel covering the series from front to back, I find this expansion incredibly intriguing, and I've been dying to know more about what we're actually getting with the first Mario Party DLC upgrade in history. This trailer was a lot more descriptive about what this upgrade pack entails compared to what we saw in the April Switch 2 Direct, so we have a greater understanding of what Jamboree TV will contain. And in this video, we're gonna delve deep to see what the heck this expansion is really all about. Hi there, Editing Mark here. So as I was editing this, Nintendo of America put out an English version of this trailer. There's ultimately nothing new here besides some naming conventions, but I figure it was worth mentioning since you're going to be hearing me refer to some of these minigames and modes by their Japanese names rather than their English names, but you'll see footage of the English names on screen. It ultimately changes nothing about my analysis, I just thought it was worth mentioning. Anyways, let's get back to it. Firstly, we now have an actual look at the 2v2 mode, which Nintendo quietly confirmed on the website for Jamboree TV, but we never actually saw it in action. The Japanese trailer calls this mode Tag Battle, and it's a lot like the 2v2 modes we saw in previous Mario Party games. In this mode, players share their coins, stars, and presumably items, although judging by the 3 bubbles next to Mario's player icon down at the bottom here, I think teams are probably still restricted to only 3 items. It could be the case that each player can have 3 items apiece and then you can share them with each other like in Mario Party 4. To me, this would make the most sense. Teammates move independently from each other on the board, so the 2v2 mode doesn't use the weird tandem gameplay style like Mario Party 7 does. Thank God. However, the new friendship dice does kind of bring that back, but in a pretty cool way. The friendship dice is an item exclusive to this new 2v2 mode, and when a player uses it, it calls their teammate over and they roll alongside them. This also gives you the double dip special effect that you get from Jamboree buddies in the party mode, so if you reach a star spawn, you can buy 2 stars instead of 1. This is a really cool concept for some team strategies that can definitely have some downsides. For one, you're relocating your teammate when you do this, so the next star spawn might be difficult for you both to get to. It's unclear whether this item permanently relocates your teammate to your space or if they just roll alongside you and then return to their original space once the turn ends. Personally, I hope it permanently relocates your teammate, so you have to think about positioning and potential strategy disruptions when using this item. It would make it a very dynamic option that encourages strategic positioning and communication between teammates. Overall, there aren't too many other changes that this trailer shows in the 2v2 mode besides the new friendship dice. From what I can tell, the spaces on the board are unchanged and we only get a brief glance at this mode. Even though we still know very little about how this mode actually works, it's by far the expansion that I'm most excited about. 2v2 mode is one of my favorite ways to play the classic Mario Party games on GameCube and Wii, and Superstars and Jamboree were sorely lacking a 2v2 mode for years, so I'm glad to see it making its triumphant return in what seems to be a pretty great fashion. However, 2v2 mode isn't the only new expansion the party mode is getting, actually. That's right, there's also a second additional rule set that will be added to Jamboree TV. It's called Climax Mode, which will likely be renamed when it comes over to the West. In Climax Mode, the game is restricted to just 5 turns, so if you want to play some Mario Party but don't have a couple of hours to commit, this is the mode for you. In this mode, everybody starts out with 50 coins, a double dice set, and a star. Since this game begins in the last 5 turns, you can duel other players from turn 1, although it looks like you're still only able to wager coins in those duels, so star wagering is likely still locked to the Super Dueling Glove. From what I can tell, the duels still only occur when you land on the same space as another player, and there don't appear to be any duel spaces on the board, so the boards are largely unchanged for this rule set too. Climax Mode seems really weird to me. It's kind of like finding a random game save that was abandoned on the last 5 turns, just booting it up and playing the game out to the end. I don't really know who this mode is for, if I'm being honest. I understand the mission of wanting to offer a version of Mario Party that is less time-consuming. I mean, the pacing is definitely one of the most common critiques of Jamboree especially. However, was this really the best they could do? Personally, I think it would have been cooler to see some unique dual rule sets for these boards, like what we saw in Mario Party 7 and 8. Those rule sets did a pretty good job changing up the way that you play the boards for just 2 players, and were usually significantly faster than the 4-player versions. I would have loved to see that come back for Jamboree's boards if they wanted to make an expedited board game mode. They could have also deviated from the existing boards in the game and made something uniquely quick, like dual mode for Mario Party 3, or maybe the Mario Party Tactics graphics modes from Star Rush, or maybe a shorter minigame mode like Board Game Island from Wii Party or something. I realize that what I'm suggesting would require all new boards and such to include, which was probably more work than they would be able to add to this expansion, but still, Climax Mode feels like a half-baked solution to a problem that could have been more holistically solved. Now moving on to Bowser Live, the mode that uses the camera and the microphone to their, fullest? We didn't learn too much about this new mode from this trailer. The biggest bit of information is that you can still play this without the camera if you don't have one. You'll just be able to play the microphone minigames. We also saw that the finale is call and response, or as I would call it, a speed run to a noise complaint. They also did show off this new minigame where players are wearing Mario and Luigi hats, which is called Talking Flower Says, where you basically play Simon Says with the talking flower from Mario Wonder. That sounds pretty cute. I hope it actually works well. Overall, Bowser Live is probably the mode I'm least interested in, personally. It feels like an insistence on utilizing every Switch 2 feature and accessory in one big, gimmicky mode that's probably fun for an afternoon, but not worth the setup hassle to play multiple times. The minigames that we've seen are pretty shallow, generally speaking, so this mode seems like more of a one-off novelty rather than something I'm going to play with friends very often. I'd love to be proven wrong, though. Finally, we've got the Carnival Coaster. This is the 4-player co-op mode aimed to replace River Survival from Super Mario Party, where you'll play a co-op minigame and then you'll get a grade as a group and gain additional time depending on your grade. This mode is all about the mouse controls, so you'll be shooting down these Koopas for most of the time and then hopping into a 4-player co-op mouse minigame when you enter these tunnels. The big revelation in this trailer is that there are 5 different coasters representing 5 different difficulty levels. Thank God, this mode definitely needs multiple stages to stay fresh, especially since you don't have direct control over your trajectory like in River Survival. I hope this means that this mode can actually get challenging too. In River Survival, eventually, I feel like you just give up on playing the minigames because you likely have so much time to spare that you don't need them halfway through. In the finale, it looks like this game also lets you pick one of 2 minigames to clear as well, so I'm hoping that this mode is actually tough and provides a good co-op change of pace. They did also show that you can use the camera in this mode too, so if you raise your hands on a drop on the coaster, you'll get extra time. Cute. Overall, there wasn't much more to cover here, but this mode still looks like fun to me. I'm optimistic about it. It at least looks better than River Survival in a lot of ways. It's also worth mentioning that Jamboree TV is adding 20 minigames. However, like the base game's numbers, I think that's probably stretched out into multiple modes, which deflates the impact on party mode. On the positive side, the co-op mouse minigames also have 2v2 versions that can be found in party mode, so that's at least a good chunk of the newly added minigames that will be added to the rotation of party mode, which is desperately needed. This new Goomba bulldozing one they showed off in the new trailer looks really fun. I think the 2v2 version could be a blast if the controls are intuitive. The inner tube one looks too easy though. Like, in their own trailer, everybody hits every balloon, so how is this going to be competitive at all? I'm getting distracted. I am more skeptical of the microphone and camera minigames from Bowser Live. Those are likely not appearing in party mode, thank God, but since they appear on the carousel on the Jamboree TV website alongside the other minigames, I think they're factored into that number, which is a significant disappointment. We currently know of at least 5 Bowser Live minigames, so even if we assume that that's all of the Bowser Live minigames available here, that's still a fourth of the new ones being added. It's just a bit disappointing since Mario Party Jamboree is really lacking in the minigame selection for the main party mode. If you play with single Joy-Con motion minigames, Jamboree has 73 minigames in the main party set, which isn't too bad. That's competitive with some of the past entries in the series, but if you remove the motion minigames, you're looking at just 59 minigames in the regular party set, including showdown and item minigames. That's a pretty far cry from the advertised 110 minigames in the full game, which isn't wrong necessarily. There are 110 minigames in this game. Still, since they're so spread thin between the Rhythm Kitchen, Koopathlon, etc., I think it's reasonable to say that Jamboree is lacking in the minigame variety for the primary party mode, and it would have been great to see at least 20 minigames minimum added to the set for this paid expansion. And that brings me to my final point, the price. Jamboree TV is going to cost you $20 US for the game expansion, and the combined package at launch will retail for $80 US. So any way you slice it, this expansion is $20 on top of the $60 that the game retails for. While I might personally think that some of this content, especially the expansions for the board gameplay and the mouse minigames, seem really fun, $20 is pretty steep for what you get here. I think my biggest concern with this expansion, at least of May 2025 when I'm recording this, is replayability. Both of the new modes, Bowser Live and Carnival Coaster, will probably be fun to pop in for the first time and experience all the new peripherals and whatnot, but once you complete every level in Carnival Coaster and play Bowser Live once, I doubt these will be the sorts of modes you return to. Again, I'd love to be proven wrong, but to me, these seem more like gimmick showcases and less like actually long-lasting, replayable party game staples like the base Mario Party gameplay or Koopathlon. The expansions to the board gameplay are the most exciting, but they're also the expansions that don't need to be locked to the Switch 2 to work. The extra mouse minigames are the only thing really justifying the 2v2 mode being locked to Jamboree TV. And I mean, you could totally just take those mouse minigames out and allow people on Switch 1 to play 2v2 as well, right? This doesn't have to be locked to the Switch 2, but they're doing so to beef up the Jamboree TV Value Edition, which I understand from a business perspective, but I'm bummed about it for anybody who wants to play 2v2 but can't get a Switch 2. Man, I feel like I'm going crazy saying the number 2 this many times. There are some additional features like the DS download play compatibility and the camera integration in the party mode, but overall this seems to be what you're getting with Jamboree TV. 2 new modes, 2 new rule sets, 20 new minigames, and some added functionalities with the camera. So, I mean, it's obviously up to you to determine if this upgrade is worth the price of admission to you or not. With this new trailer, we at least have a clearer value proposition of what you get for the price. But I don't know. This is the first time in history that Mario Party is getting DLC, and this expansion just feels underwhelming to me. Personally, I thought we'd never see a Mario Party game get DLC, which is a separate topic entirely that probably warrants its own video. So let me know if you want to see that video in the comments below. I don't want to be too pessimistic. Like I've been saying throughout this video, I'd love to be proven wrong, but Jamboree TV seems like a missed opportunity to me. Adding DLC to Mario Party is something that fans online have been begging for, especially for new boards or classic minigames to be brought back to expand the game's content to be even more replayable than it already is. Creating a $20 expansion that includes no new boards, only a handful of new minigames, and only a couple of rule set changes is such a missed opportunity. Imagine if there was a Jamboree TV exclusive board that used the mouse controls for board events in an interesting way or something. I understand that this expansion probably didn't have a huge development budget or a lot of time in the oven. I mean, at the end of the day, this expansion is probably being created to show off the Switch 2's features, using Jamboree as a base to resourcefully do that instead of creating a whole new party game or something. However, Jamboree is one of the best original Mario parties that we've gotten in a long time, and I think it deserved an expansion that elevated its good ideas more than Jamboree TV is going to. Let me know in the comments if you plan on getting Jamboree TV or not, and also, while you're down there, feel free to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed this. I make a lot of big party game retrospectives on my main channel. I'm actually working on a Wii Party U retrospective right now, but this channel will also have some high-octane, maybe more casual party game related content on it as well, so be sure to subscribe and hit that bell or whatever so you know when I post my sessions of the choicest voice for the world to enjoy. Thanks for watching, and thank you to my channel members on my main channel for supporting me as I work on those big retrospectives. You guys rock. Anyways, I've rambled enough. I hope you have a great rest of your day.